Hi, I'm Brian Higginbotham, ARC Supervisor of Operations and Programming, also the head of the fitness department. Today we're going to be talking about compound multiple joint movements versus isolated single joint movements. All right, we're going to be talking about isolated movements versus compound movements today, and we're going to be working upper body. Get the most bang for your buck out of the gym. People that have short amount of time in the gym want to do compound movements. The reason for that is we're doing multiple joint, multiple muscle. We're getting a lot more utilization than we are if we just do isolated. This is going to be an isolated movement for the biceps or the front of the arm. And I'll show you the difference here. This is our curl. What's happening here is I have one joint movement here at the elbow, which is working one muscle here in the bicep. Okay? So if I spend 3-4 sets of 15 reps on here, I'm working one muscle group. I'm going to spend the same amount of time on a compound movement, working multiple joints, which is going to be in the shoulder, also in the elbow. And I'm going to be working tons more muscles here, a lot more utilization. Also, I'm going to be working my biceps that I was trying to utilize on the bicep curl. So here, for instance, I have movement at the shoulder. I'm working a lot of deltoid. I'm working a lot of lat. I'm hitting that bicep that I just hit on that other machine. But as you can see, I'm working tons more muscles than I would if I'm doing an isolated movement. What that's going to allow me to do, if I can do upper body compounds, which are going to be my pushes and my pulls, and this is a pull exercise, it's going to allow me to hit multiple muscles in the same amount of time that if I was doing isolated. Okay, so what we just showed you was the a bicep curl compared to a compound lat pull down, which is the posterior side and the bicep. We're going to flip the script and we're going to do the opposing muscle group, which is going to be a compound movement of a chest press and an isolated movement of a tricep. So now instead of focusing on the bicep, we're going to the tricep. The isolated movement, which is still a good movement, focusing on the tricep, but it is an isolated movement with a single joint movement in the elbow. So good for the tricep. But if we want to spend the same amount of time in the gym, utilize more muscles, we can go to a chest press. Here you'll notice I have joint movement at the shoulder and at the elbow. All the while I'm still hitting my tricep, okay? So when we push, it focuses on the tricep, but I'm hitting all of my pectoral and my chest and through my shoulders. So for people who want to come into the gym, first thing I would tell them to do is go to those push and pulls, working the anterior and the posterior sides of the upper body, still hitting those biceps and triceps, instead of just hitting isolated movements and only working the arm.